Sir, please start. Thank you. Samir sir, please start. You can unmute yourself. Thank you.
Samir sir, please unmute yourself.
Yeah. So Namaskar, we request Dr. Sanjay and Dr. Amol to begin.
Namaskar. Welcome to this program of MAHAIAP. Really a very promising program of MAHAIAP, I'll say. We arrange a lot many academic programs in the month, more than 6, 7. But this is a very good program as far as from MAHAIAP platform is concerned. And we got a huge response because the concept by our visionary leader, Dr. Samir Dalwai, we can see he's contesting for the presidential post CIP, and we can see his vision right now before becoming the president, and he's going to be the president next year, coming year. So lot many programs were arranged. This is the 5th program in the line. The first one was about the how to enjoy the practice, the art and science of practice. We started with our senior pediatrician, Dr. Y.K. Amdekar sir, and it was a great success and everybody enjoyed that particular program. The second was whether to go for the private practice, solo practice, group practice, or work in the institution. Again, so many faculties like Piyush Gupta sir joined the program, and it was a huge success. The third was about the whether we are level this female, as far as the female pediatricians are concerned, whether we are doing the level playing field, as far as, because they are in they have to do the lot of work other than the practice and still maintain the practice. It's very difficult, and how they are managing, and so many stalwarts like Swati Bhave madam were program, and I will say with the pride that Najma Heptullah madam was there in that particular program. So again, we got a very good insight from that program. And the last one was about AI. So what is importance of AI in the pediatrician's practice? So again, one more insight as far as the tech savvy, and the word smart, the T stands for the tech savvy. So that part is also covered. And today's very important program, that is how to manage money. Nowadays doctors are concerned means they are only restricted to the practice. They know only how to practice, how to earn the money. But today from the expert panelists, we are going to know how to manage that particular money. Because at the end of the day, in the previous last 10, 5, 15 years, and before 15 years, right from here, we were thinking about just go settle your practice and earn the money. You're not interested in anything. You don't know about anything about anything. Rather, you think yourself you cannot do that particular thing. That particular thing is very difficult for you. It is rather very confusing, very scary. But I think after this panelists will expert opinions, we'll come to know. Rather, in the recent era, the new pediatrician who are joining, they are very well versed with this financial aspect. Rather, the new people who are coming, they believe how to enjoy the life with the practice and how to manage the money. But people like us who are practicing from so many years, from the panelists, we are definitely going to help from the panelists expert opinion, so that we learn from tomorrow. Let's manage our money well. So thank you for all the panelists who have joined today. I welcome you all on the MAHAIAP platform, and over to you, Samir sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Amol, you are going to wait at the end. Otherwise, you are never there.
I will be there in the program.
So you want to say something
sir.
now, or would you like to give the vote of thanks?
Lastly, vote of thanks.
Okay, thank you so much. So thank you, respected Dr. Sanjay Bakmuruji, President of MAHAIAP, and my dear Dr. Amol Pawar, National Joint Convener, as well as Honorary Secretary General of Maharashtra IAP. Thank you so much for this wonderful platform, and all my seniors, all my dear friends. This is the 5th episode of a new idea. So generally new ideas get shut within 1 or 2 episodes, but we are very happy that we are going strong, and this is the 5th episode, as our president has just spoken about it. And this is an episode which is very close to everybody's heart and stomach, both. So this is very important, because all of us who are very well trained as pediatricians, and we know how hard it is, but we are able to do our work well. But handling money can be a big challenge, because we have never been trained in it. And some of us find these financial terms also very boring. What is market? What is equity, etc., etc. And that's why we wanted to bring up this topic as a basic topic where we can all explain and understand what these terms mean. And as our smart pediatrician experts are there to help us. And before we go to this topic, and I'd like to introduce all our speakers today. But I'm very, very happy and proud that we have a very special guest who has joined us today. And her name is Miss Preeti Rathi Gupta. And a big round of applause for her to begin with before I even introduce what she does. She comes from a very illustrious family banking background from the Anurati family. She was ex-managing director there. She is an alumnus of the Harvard Business School, and she has a wonderful work behind her that she is the founder of Lakshmi, which is a platform which she has designed, and she'll tell us more about it, especially to give financial empowerment, a platform for women, for ladies, which aims to empower ladies to build their financial planning acumen and invest seamlessly through the Lakshmi platform. And what a lovely name as well. So she is passionate about creating a positive social impact and bridging the gender gap. And madam, you will be very happy to know we had a session on this 2 episodes back where Mrs. Najma Hiptullah and all our seniors were there. So one reason for being very happy for your accepting our invitation is we would like you to address all of us, but also our lady pediatricians with your platform. And we would like you to share in the chat box some details, because this is just an eye opener for our pediatricians. They can get in touch with any of the speakers later on for further details. So thank you so much once again. And we are very grateful to you to come to IIP platform. Let me now go ahead and introduce all our wonderful panelists, the smart panelists today, the incredible panel that we have. First and foremost, my dear friend, Dr. Ajay Kumar, who's from the city of Hyderabad. He's also the chairman of the Computers and Medical Informatics chapter of IIP. And we all know him as the person to go to when we need any advice. So a big round of applause for Dr. Ajay Kumar, who has really helped me put up all this panel together. Thank you so much, Dr. Ajay Bhai.
Welcome. It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much. Next, I go to my dear friend, Dr. Manish Gupta, who is from Jaipur Golden Hospital, but he's the man with the golden touch when it comes to the share market. And Manish Bhai has been forever trying to get me to invest in the share market. But me having a whatever little poor knowledge of this thing, hopefully after this, Manish Bhai, I will join you. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Manish Gupta, who is also an executive board member of the Central IIP from Delhi. Big round of applause for my dear.
Thank you, Dr. Samir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Welcome. Also, dear Dr. Vineet Tyagi, who is also an executive board member from Naveen Hospital, Greater Noida. We all know Dr. Vineet Tyagi to be very, very fiscally or financially alert, knowledgeable. Every conference, every meeting, we have his entire feedback and his inputs. So, a big round of applause for Dr. Vineet Tyagi, and we welcome him.
Thank you, Dr. Samir.
Welcome, welcome. Now I go ahead and introduce our next guest, our next expert, another pediatrician of renown, Professor Dr. Harisha Gopal from Dr. Patnam Mahendra Medical College from Telangana, who is a very versatile person, very well known for his acumen in pediatrics as well as financial planning. So big round of applause and welcome to you, Professor Harisha.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And last but certainly not the least, we have another very well-known person who's very well connected in both pediatrics as well as the financial training fields, Professor Dr. Chapai Soren from SVS Medical College, Telangana. So welcome to you, sir, and a big round of applause to welcome him.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we have had a lovely time bringing this program to you. And as you are all aware, this is basically a curtain raiser, an eye-opener. We are not going to have very detailed in-depth discussion on finances here, but the whole idea is to bring to our pediatrician fraternity that financial planning, how important is it for pediatricians? And you need to start early, but it is never too late. That is the theme of our talk today. With this, I would like to go to Ms. Preeti Rathi ma'am. And basically, madam, just a few things which you can explain to us in simple terms. What is financial planning? How do you look at this term? Explain it to our pediatricians. What is financial planning?
Firstly, thank you, Dr. Samir Dalwai, for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here. There are very few sessions that I do at 9 o'clock in the night, and this is one of the most pleasurable ones because mostly I do them, international when I talk. It's normally at 9 o'clock. So thank you for having me. And good evening to everybody, all the panelists along with me, as well as everybody who's attending this. I think firstly, delighted that, you as a group have chosen to focus on financial planning as a topic, because it is very, very intrinsic. It is my belief that this should actually be taught in all colleges, schools, because while we learn all our technical knowledge, which enables us to earn money, unfortunately, the larger piece of this, which is once you've earned that money, how do you make sure that, you're planning it rightly to achieve all your financial goals? To your question, what is financial planning? In simple terms, it is managing your money in such a way that you are able to achieve all your financial goals, right? And by financial goals, I mean that everything that will take money for us to achieve, it could be home, car, retirement, all of these things, right? There is a very important element of financial planning, which is known as personal finance. And the reason this is called personal finance is there are, many panelists here. We could all give you one prescription. Like as a doctor, you would give a prescription and you would personalize it to your patient. Similarly, in finance, you have to personalize your financial planning to yourself, because we all come with different, different earnings, different responsibilities, different liabilities, different aspirations, different life goals. So our circumstances are very different. And therefore, having a basic knowledge of what personal finance means, what are its different tangents, is very, very important, right? Just like we learn basic other life skills, right? Whether it is driving a car, etc. I think personal finance is a skill that everybody should learn. So that's a little about personal finance. And within personal finance, your aim should be, or your financial planning should be the simplest. All of you are already in very, very complicated fields. I think that takes up most of your mind space. Therefore, your financial planning should be simple, uncomplicated, something that does not make you lose, your sleep at night, right? Because that's not the aim of growing your money or doing your financial planning. So the basic pillar on which you should build it is simplicity. And, when people ask me that where should we invest our money? And it's, my one mandate is that after looking at your financial goals, there are only 3 places that you should put money: equity, debt, and gold. And as we go along, happy to go a little bit more detail into this. But within these 3 things, your financial planning is done. Everything else is noise. If somebody tells you private equity, somebody says cryptocurrency, all of it is noise. You can just cut it all out. For your core financial planning, just look at these 3 asset classes. They are known as asset classes. And once you put your money in, it should be in a way that you can leave it to grow. You don't need to manage it actively on a daily basis, because that's not your core job. It's not your day job.
I think that's so beautifully put that eventually it's about the simplicity. But madam, it's only experts like you who can make it simple for us to understand. So thank you once again. And I'll also take the opportunity to welcome my dear friend, Ms. Rivoli Sinha, who is a managing director for SIS Securities, and through whom we were able to get the august presence of Ms. Preeti Gupta. So welcome, Rivoli. And also I'd like to acknowledge the presence of somebody whom is known as a man with the Midas touch, Dr. Bakul Parekh, our past president, who is very, very well versed with all these things. So going ahead now, since madam has set the ball rolling, Manish bhai, Dr. Manish Gupta, let me come to you. My question
Yes,
is,
sir.
at what age should you ideally start investing for retirement?
Dr. Samir, first, definitely congratulations to you for such a nice vendor. And I hope someone would have done this class 25 years back when I started my clinical practice, but better late than never. So definitely see, the basic purpose why you earn is 2 things. First is to manage your expenses, and second is to secure your future. 25 years back, the concept was saving and saving and saving. Now the saving is replaced by investing. So the moment you start earning, you should start investing. And every decade of systemic investing lost, you would require double of the monthly investment to build up same amount of corpus. So it is said, let not only work for money, let your money work for you. So by 50 year, actually, you should have 50% of money, which money has earned for you. That should be the target. So that is earliest. Start at the first salary, first earning. Do it.
Lovely. I think that's wonderfully put. That the differences between saving and investment is that when you're saving, you are just collecting the money which is losing its value. But when you are investing, you are actually making the money work for you and earn for you. Otherwise, हम लोग वही बोलते हैं ना कि हम daily wage workers हैं. As long as we are going to the hospital or the clinic, we are earning. But if the day we take one day off on a vacation or if you are unwell, we don't earn. So that's a very good point. So, Dr. Manish, what is the ideal percentage of monthly income to save? And what is this 50-30-20 budgeting rule here?
See, all with the financial planners, what they recommend is ideally you have 3 requirements in life: your wants, your needs, and your basically securing future. So basically 50% of your all earnings should go to the needs. Needs is something you cannot go away. You have to do your daily, your parents, your family, your kids, your expenses of house and everything. Then 30% is for luxuries. Say you want to do some domestic tour or international tour, you want to buy a new luxury car and this thing. But at least 20% should go for your investing. And investing, it is very important to understand, saving would not tide the inflation. Investing would cover the inflation also, and that will give you a compounded. So 50, 30, 20, this is the golden rule. 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for investing.
Thank you so much. And in fact, I'd like to thank you for keeping the answers so crisp, and thanks a lot. So now I'd like to go on to Dr. Ajay Kumar sir, who's our senior who knows all this. Dr. Ajay bhai, what are all these terms here? What is asset? What is equity? What are shares? Yeah, debt funds kya hota hai? Gold market. So can you just tell us in brief? Because doctors are used to basic definitions.
True. See, as we have got in the mall to go in the market to buy our household items, in the investment world, or now we call it financial markets, we have got various asset classes or various financial instruments where we can put our money and try to grow it over a period of time. So already Madam has said, Priti Madam, that you have to restrict only for few of them because the things are now changing. So I have got a small mnemonic for our participants: GRED. G is for gold and RE is for real estate, maybe a REIT and an InvIT, not actually a tangible land. And also D is for debt funds, and probably E is for equity or stocks. So stocks and equity is same. So these are the some of the available for us. People who have got advanced knowledge, they go for commodity, they go for currency. But in India, the wide market is open now for doctors who are really analytical people to learn this life skill of personal finance management and try to put the money for good use. And our aim is to be self-reliant, learn very fast. Personal finance management is not a rocket science. It's a 7th grade subject, as I always tell to all the participants. Simplest, Madam has already said that, make it very simple. KISS. KISS means keep it simple strategy. Don't complicate it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So how would you still tell us what is equity, what are shares, what is debt funds?
Well, equity is like become a owner of the company. Whenever the company needs money, they come to the public in the form of a initial public offer, and it's a primary market, and we all apply. And then if you are allotted, you become a owner of the company. Otherwise, after the company shares get listed in the stock exchange, the world's one of the best stock exchanges are in our country, like National Stock Exchange or Bombay Stock Exchange, they become available to anybody to buy and sell between us only, between retailers to retailers. That is a equity or share or stock. Debt funds are nothing but like it's like a fixed deposits, right? You go put in the corporate deposit, or you do a government securities, you go to money market. These are all known as debt funds. And gold, nowadays people are talking about non-jewelry gold investment. like in digital or paper gold, not actually the physical gold or tangible gold. And then real estate, we have already said, now youngsters are going towards non-real estate investments, and these are the three things which we have to focus on: debt funds, stocks, and gold. That too, digital gold or paper gold.
All right. Thank you so much again. Thanks for keeping it crisp. I'd like to now go to Dr. Vineet Tyagi, sir, and ask him. So, Vineet bhai, we have heard about the other assets, but one very common term is mutual funds and SIPs, etc. So, what are those?
SIP basically is a short form of a word that is systemic investment plan. It is usually used for investing in mutual funds in a very small tranches and on a regular basis. Samir bhai, as we know that nowadays it's a world of too much of stress. We have stress from 1,000 ways. And I always tell my close circles, my friends, as well as the people who I talk to, that if you want to avoid a premature RIP, that is rest in peace, then you have to have a very important word, that is SIP, that is sleep in peace. So if you don't have stress of investing and you want to sleep in peace, then you go for SIP. SIP actually takes away lots of things which are bad in investment, which we call as behavioral biases of humans, which leads to a lot of wrong decision making in investments and causes a lot of stress. So to take away these biases, we won't go into detail of these biases because that's a different topic altogether. But a very important bias which is taken care of by SIP, very important one is confirmation bias. And what does SIP gives us? SIP gives us, most important thing is discipline, which is a very, very important factor in investing. And that is the most missing factor in investing by the retailers. And the individual investor actually lose money because of indiscipline more than the wrong decision. So it gives you discipline, it gives you courage for or a method of regular investment. Okay, it leads to rupee cost averaging. One thing you have bought at 100, then you bought at 50, then you bought at 70. So it averages out over a period of time. Okay, and it gives, because in SIP you invest on a regular basis, you don't withdraw, you don't see SIP on a daily basis. There is a takeaway of loss aversion bias. So you keep investing for a longer duration and you are invested in an instrument for a longer duration of time. So it gives you the benefit of compounding as well. And with advent of new types of SIPs, there is a lot of flexibility. Multiple products in SIPs are available across the market. So the flexibility is also very important benefit of SIP. So it's a very good instrument of methodology to start with investing for youngsters as well as at any age.
So if you don't want to, after every patient in the OPD, you don't want to check the share market, then you better go for SIP.
Better go for SIP.
And while you are on the rounds in the ICU, your heart doesn't need to go dag 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 dag. Abhi round ke baad kya padne milega.
So you don't have to actually see SIP. You don't have to watch it.
Samir sir,
Ajay bhai,
just a sentence. SIP is remember, it is a type of investment, not an investment instrument. Many people say, I want to do SIP. It's not an instrument. It's what, as Dr. Vineet said, a fixed amount, fixed date, and a fixed asset every month or every day or every 2 months, whatever it is. The frequencies, you fix it up.
Perfect.
It entails discipline.
Perfect. Preeti
It's
ma'am,
a method to invest. It's a method to invest.
Yeah.
Yes, method to invest. Preeti ma'am, any comments on this? Because you are from the actual professional side as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think thank you for bringing up the word mutual funds, because like I said, if you have to keep your investment really simple, the best way for everybody to invest is actually through mutual funds. And for those who may not know what mutual funds are, typically there is an expert who pulls in money from people and uses their expertise, his or her expertise, to actually diversify your investments across many it could be, if it's an equity fund, it will be across many stocks. If it is a debt fund, it will be across many debt instruments. Now, a classic example, and this is, I mean, today, I think while growing up, we were taught continuously, do not put all your eggs in one basket, right? And mutual fund is the classic way of avoiding that, because even if you invest, by the way, the minimum amount of investment in a mutual fund can be as low as 100 rupees per month, right? And even within that 100 rupees, if you've invested in an equity fund, it's actually distributed across 20 to 30 different stocks. So your risk is diversified, right? And there is an expert who actually takes the call, because this is their 24-hour job to understand and study companies. And their aim is to give you a better return than probably the index, right? And typically, if you look at it, I think a lot of people ask me that, how do I choose stocks, etc. And I'm going to just share some statistics on this, that only 5% people who invest in direct stocks or share markets, it could be Indian stocks, it could be international stocks, only 5% people actually get a return better than the index, which is your BSE or the Sensex, right? And to be in that 5%, not only do you need huge amounts of time to study your stocks, to go over them, but also some amount of luck, right? Therefore, it's just easier to be amongst the 95%. And mutual funds over a long-term period have consistently given you an alpha, which is a higher return than the index, right? So it's just, it's not rocket science. It's very simple. Therefore, it's a done deal that if you have to invest, keep it simple. Mutual funds are the best way to invest. And like Mr. Tyagi said, I think that's, doing an SIP takes the pain away. It's also systematic. You don't have to remind yourself. It's a very disciplined way of investing. It averages out your cost of investing. A lot of people ask me, oh, is it a good time to invest? Markets are high. Should we wait for the markets to fall? If you're doing an SIP, you don't need to worry about any of that, because your SIP is doing your job, right? It is investing at different intervals and therefore averaging the cost. I'm a big fan, and, full disclaimer, 80% of my portfolio is mutual funds.
Very nice. Good. Thank you so much. And we'd like these kind of tips as well from you. So I'll move ahead now to another colleague of ours. And Dr. Soren, we've already spoken about diversification within mutual funds part of it. But overall, what is diversification in investments, and what is it and why is it important? Can you explain to our viewers?
Yeah. So diversification, as has been told, not to put all the eggs in a single basket. So we need to combine the whole thing. Ajay sir initially told we want to some equity, fixed income, debt, and also real estate. And for that also, this is the basic broader diversification. Again, among the equity also, we need to based on the market cap, we have to adjust large caps, small cap, mid cap will be there. Based on the sector will be there, sectoral, different sector. We can some consumption, finance, IT, and we can chemicals, pharmaceuticals, some hospital services, and as well some industries or automobile. So we have to big diversify. Next thing, we have to diversify among the stocks also. Some are the established leaders, some are emerging leaders should be there. Next thing, we can emerging market and geographical diversification, developed markets. So US equity exposure, so China exposure, India exposure. So we need to know because geopolitical tensions and all will be there. So we have to diversify. So those are the bigger diversification among the equity. Then fixed income, either in the fixed income group, normal we can buy the bonds, PPF, GPF, all they come under fixed income groups. Okay, Sukanya Samruddhi Yojana, all will coming that group. Gold, again, the physical gold we don't advise, but do we advise the paper gold bonds and all that can be bought. Next is real estate also, two options. Land is a very big ticket size, but the new option is there. Real estate investment trusts are there. So we can there also, we can make a SIP also. Small quantity we can buy. So these are the basic broadly we can diversify on all, and everything depends upon individual risk appetite and age. So nothing is fixed here. So individualization is important thing. That's
Absolutely.
about.
Absolutely. And you learn as you go, I'm sure. Yeah. So that's great. I'll now come to Professor Harisha Gopal. We all know about health and health insurance. Doctors feel ki anyway, I'm a doctor. All my colleagues treat me for free. So why is it important to have health insurance? And what type of health insurance is essential for doctors? Dr. Gopal.
Sir, good evening, sir. Because all doctors, irrespective of how talent they are, should have a health insurance because of three reasons. First reason is because they spend a lot of hours seeing patients from morning till night. They are stressed out. So they get lifestyle diseases very soon. Okay, if they're seeing more than 50 cases, so pakka hypertension, diabetes will be there along their journey. That is point number one. Point number two, if any of the family members get any illness, they have to spend money from their own pocket, even if they are on doctor for the diseases which they cannot treat. So for the family, you have to buy a health insurance also. And third thing, because of the rising hospitalization cost, you need to buy a good health insurance. Now, which is a best health insurance? It has got many factors, but broadly, you should select a health insurance which covers majority of the hospitals around your house. Second, you should not have any co-pay. Third, you should not have any sub limits. So what do you mean by sub limit is, for example, if you have 10 lakhs insurance, they should not give only 2 lakhs for MI or 3 lakhs for cancer. How much ever it is required hospital bill, they should give. And fourth thing is, they should cover all the daycare and other modern day procedures. And if possible, they should have a restore facility. And there are many other minor factors, but broadly, we should cover these many things. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. I don't intend to trouble you, but if possible, just put quickly those points in the chat box while the other participants are speaking, because this is available as a recording, but our viewers would like to hear that. So
Yes,
I
sir.
think, yeah, thank
Oh,
you so
sure,
much.
sir.
Right. So now when we talk about health and we talked about health emergencies, so we always have some emergencies or the other. And Dr. Vineet, are you around? So I have a question for you, Vineet bhai. What does the Dr. Vineet? Yeah. So,
Yeah.
people always talk that you should have an emergency fund, cover. And how many months of expenses should it include? Because we were all used to our mother keeping that little bit of currency in those old boxes. And then God knows how many of those got during demonetization, it was not really of use. But in a more modern way, how would you explain about emergency fund cover and how many months of expenses should one cover for?
Samir bhai, keeping an emergency fund is also a very important part of financial planning. Financial planning doesn't mean that you just have to look at the investment part. As already told, insurance, investment, and diversification of asset class, they are all part of financial planning. Similarly, having a corpus for emergency fund is also part of financial planning. In general, it is said from financial planner to financial planner, this thing from country to country can change. The usual concept is that you should have at least 6 months of your expenditure as an emergency fund with your safe deposit or fixed deposits, whatever you like. It should be liquid cash sort of investment. Not necessarily you have to have cash. You can have it in liquid funds. You can have it in day or two, very small durations, fixed deposits, any form. But you should keep that fund separately. It should not be touched. In my personal practice, and what I advise to my people around is that you should at least have 12 months of fund, because your expenditure is not equally spread across the 12 months in the year. Festival time, other times, expenditure differs. So you have a calculation of 12 months expenditure, and this expenditure should include everything, your all expenses, the expenditure leading to your EMIs, your day-to-day living, your spendings, your lifestyle, everything, food, everything, schooling, everything. It should not be just you take what the cash that you are spending. It's not like that. This amount should include the complete expenditure apart from investments that you do in 12 months of period. Last 12 months, what you have done, you should keep it with you for next 12 months. So this is what I think should be the right way to do it.
I'd like to have the ladies' opinion on this as well. Dr. Preeti ma'am, what do you think about this? And practically, could you give us some examples where you have heard of somebody who had a problem like this?
So absolutely. So I think like Dr. Tyagi said, while we plan for the future, we also have to plan for anything that may just come up upon us, right? And to plan for an emergency, you need two things. First of all, you definitely need a health insurance, right? Because if tomorrow, if there's a medical emergency, and especially I think the profession that you are on, the practice is put on hold, etc., it is important that the health insurance takes care of all your expenses on, say, a medical emergency, right? Similarly, you need to create an emergency fund. And I think for most of you, like Dr. Tyagi said, because typically we say that if it is not a fixed income that you get every month, it's best to plan for at least 12 months of your expenses and all your expenses, right? That means that tomorrow, if something happens for whatever reasons, we have another epidemic, God forbid, never, but who knows what life holds, right? Then you should be able to, you should be at peace that at least the next 12 months of your lifestyle and expenses are taken care of, right? It's actually the most critical part of your financial planning, because when you do, and in fact, when people start their financial planning, we ask them to, there are 3 important steps that they have to begin with. First is definitely take a, health insurance. That's the first thing you should do, because that's the risk cover. Because once you start your investing journey, the health cover or the Mediclaim actually ensures that you're not breaking that investment journey. The second is to create an emergency fund, which is about 8 to 12 months of your living expenses. And same, at minute you finish your, create your emergency fund from your savings, start your retirement planning. And a lot of people ask us that why retirement planning so early, but the earlier you start, the richer you retire, right? These 3 are crucial goals in your financial planning that every person must have. And like Dr. Tyagi said, in an emergency, where should your emergency fund be kept? I think a very important part of financial planning is understanding inflation, right? Because inflation is that one thing that actually reduces the value of your money. A lot of people feel it's fine if our money is in savings bank account, if it's in fixed deposits, it's growing, it's safely kept away. And we don't want to invest in something like equities because we don't understand. But what you've done is actually taken a risk already, because you've already taken the risk of the value of your money reducing. Because if your money does not grow more than inflation, you've actually started to lose your money. And that means all your money put together. Of course, we should have some money in fixed deposit, some in savings account, but not all your money, right? While creating an emergency fund, you have to keep it in a place where your money at least grows more than a savings bank account, because one, you may need it tomorrow or you may never need it, right? So that money should also not just be lying idle. Keep it in a place where you can access it immediately. So we also recommend that 10% of it, you should actually keep it in your savings bank account, and 90% should go into what is known as liquid funds. Or there's also another option, which is arbitrage fund, where your returns are locked in. There is no risk you're taking in your money in the short term. So definitely have an emergency fund. I think having an emergency fund allows you to sleep peacefully at night.
Thank you. I think you've put it very, very nicely. Thank you. I'm going to go again to Professor Harisha. And I recollect a discussion with Ajay Bhai when I told him that my father says the only thing to save money is to buy property. So Dr. Gopal, sir, I'd like to ask you, is it a good idea to keep buying property? What are home loans? And what is the rule of thumb for home loan EMI as a percentage of monthly income?
Sir, a home loan should be taken only for the home which you're going to stay, not for as an investment. Point number 1. Point number 2, how much
My
to
dad won't be
invest?
very happy to hear that, but I'll tell him.
Okay, sir. And point number 2, how much percentage of home loan you should take based on the EMI? There are 3 rules, sir. First is the income rule. You should, as a based on the income rule, safe zone is 25 to 30% of the monthly net income. You should not go, and the absolute upper ceiling is 40%, because the banks will not approve more than that. The second rule is a household budget rule, where EMI of all the loans, that includes home, car, personal loan, should not exceed 40 to 45% of your net income, in which the home loan should be the major EMI of the home loan, household budget. And the third rule is your advance expert rule. What this rule says that if you have not planned your retirement and your children's education fund is not yet secure, then your EMI should be less than 25%. So overall, if you see all these three rules, it will tell you not to cross more than 30% of your monthly net home take pay. So please remember, only for your house you stay and not more than 30% of your monthly net income. 1 lakh is your income, not more than 30,000 as your monthly EMI. What if it is more than that? Don't pay or postpone the home loan purchasing. Thank you, sir.
Wonderful. And Preeti ma'am has raised her hand, and I also have a question. Would it be a good idea to buy a hospital or a clinic and consider that as an investment? But you have something else to say as well.
Yeah, I actually, given that we've been in this field and we monitor all asset classes, I think I come with a very sort of strong data-backed, sort of advice to say that real estate investment should be restricted to the house that you live in. If you want to build a hospital, clinic, etc., all of that, right? But I think real estate as an investment, if you look at, I just spoke about inflation. If you look at the last 20 years data, real estate has given you a return of maybe 4 or 5%, right? But the reason we like to put money in real estate and gold is because it's a money memory. Just like we have muscle memory, it's a money memory, because our parents and our grandparents, they didn't have any other avenue. So all the money went into real estate and gold. And therefore we think that's the best way. If my mother put money in fixed deposit, I will always think that's the best way, right? But a lot in our surrounding, our dynamics, our lifestyle has changed. And, therefore it is very important to look at real estate as possibly a sense of security. And very interestingly, today, if you ask the Gen Z or the millennials, they don't want to invest in a home, right? Because they want that freedom of saying maybe we can. But where we come from, we like the security of a home. And I think real estate investment should be restricted to that, because ideally you should then be investing your money into, asset classes which actually secure a better retirement or a better future for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Regarding hospital investment, nowadays the valuations of established hospital are very high, or to set up a hospital, then the staff salaries are very high. So the profit margins are very less. So that is also now becoming a very less attractive investment. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Professor Soren, sir, another question, people always say that tax planning is very important for your financial planning. So how is tax planning concerned with financial planning? And is there a tax saving limit that the law allows in India, etc.?
Yeah. So there is two tax regime till now it is there. One is old, another is new one. New one does not have any exemptions. Old one, we have the exemption of ATC and many lists are there. But typically ATC is there where there is a deduction up to 1.5 lakh option is there. And that is eligible for both individual as well as the Hindu undivided family HUF, those who they can 1.5 lakh that also they can. So we can do, if they have a HUF is there, one can do the both, take the advantage. And this can be done in investment like insurance policies, PPA, EPA, and equity linked saving schemes, and Sukanya Samruddhi, 5-year fixed deposits. And these are the options for that. So now most likely the government may change. So everybody will be shifted to the new tax regime. So nothing will remain. So not to opt for that ATC options. Okay, that's all.
I see. That's an interesting part as well. So now I'd like to again go back to Dr. Ajay. And, again, we talked about health insurance, but we'd also like you to explain to our viewers what is term insurance and whole life insurance and what would be preferred. And I also like you to spend some time to explain to us about IAP's, the FBS scheme, family benefit scheme that the IAP has been doing for the last so many years. So again, I'll repeat my question. Can you explain to us what is term insurance and whole life insurance? What is better? And how do you look at FBS and how do you guide our viewers?
Yeah, I will answer the last question first regarding family benefit society.
Madam Preeti would not know about it, but Madam, do listen to what we have done already.
Because I am the founder secretary. It's about 14 years or 13 years old scheme floated by the pediatricians, headquartered at Hyderabad. It's a membership or sort of a insurance sort of a scheme wherein a member dies, all the other members contribute a death benefit amount fraternity amount, collect it and give it to the dependent or the nominee of the member who passed away. Today we are having about 2,500 to 2,800 members, and we are paying roughly about 10 lakhs to the nominee of the member who's passing away. So it's one of the cheapest insurance cover for the professionals available, especially for Indian Academy of Pediatrics member who are life members or associate members. And I urge everybody who's not a member, especially the youngster, because the joining fees is very, very low. The more old or age you become, the slab rate for joining becomes more, and it comes once in a year, one bill which is not more than 5,000 to 10,000 rupees, which is really good. And over a lifetime, if you see 25 years is the compulsory membership, you don't pay even 2 lakhs, but you are straight away getting about 10 to 15 lakhs, and it's increasing every year. So this is family benefits scheme, and it's definitely a very efficient, very cheap, and very good, and no questions asked, no medical certification, no health clearance, anything, anybody except the age, 25 years to 60 years. Okay, this is one. The first question is, Dr. Samir, you have asked, what is term insurance? What is whole life insurance? Now, insurance was the most missold financial instrument in our country, both by the government and including, I'll definitely take the name of Life Insurance Corporation. I was chipcawed about 6 insurances in my clinic by my patients, relatives, my people who I can't say no. And I landed up saying in a very good investment avenue or an instrument. And please today take home message from me, return all the life insurance policies which you're having, just close it and keep only one insurance which is known as term life insurance, not even whole life insurance. Whole life insurance, term life insurance, simple. The fundamental difference is term life insurance, you insure your life so that your dependents get the money when you're not there. Suddenly you go away. So you insure, say, your child rearing period right up to 60 years, say probably, or 65, those who want to do it for till 70 years. After that, the life insurance is not necessary because your children are grown up and they're gone somewhere. Your parents are also probably not there, or even if they are there, they have got their own, by the time you can take care of without having a insurance backup. So that is life term insurance. And the cost of this is so beautiful and dramatic. You won't believe, Dr. Samila and other participants, for 1 crore, you have to pay just few thousand, maybe 5,000 or 10,000. But same thing if you go for the whole lifetime, they canvas you saying that you will get a money back policy, you got an endowment policy, you will get back some amount after 20 years, 30 years. This is all humbug. This is all not to be believed, and please do not entertain this. Just surrender them and continue to keep the life policy, the whole life policy, which is known as term policy. And the policy expires the day the person dies. And always remember, the insurance is an expense, not an investment. We think insurance is investment. It is not. So put it in your expenses and use it as a expenses strategy, and only for your dependent who are there till you're alive. After that, you don't need to have it. So your premium is very low cost insurance. I hope I'm clear.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. And there are some questions about how to join FBS. Dr. Rashmi was asking, so I have asked her to speak with you about it. Dr. Manish, sir, Dr. Manish Gupta, what is an index fund? That's another term that I was always confused with. Index fund, and what is the benefit of investing in an index fund?
Sabir bhai, index fund in last decade has very much grown, and it is a beautiful product. It is just like a driverless car basically, and you don't have a risk of any accident. You don't need brake or something. Basically, if you see, suppose Nifty 50 index fund, what it does is simply a computer copies the 50 stocks of Nifty index, Nifty 50 index, and just invest equal proportion as the Nifty 50 is made by it. So it is basically a passive fund compared to an active mutual fund, which actually the fund manager chooses the different stocks, 50, 70 odd stocks we have to invest. And the good thing is, in the index fund, the expense ratio is only 0.1 to 0.3%, compared to 1 to 2% in the active mutual fund. And over the period, 80% of the active mutual fund actually don't beat the returns by the index fund. So anyway, the mutual fund are going to give us return of 12 to 18% yearly. And this 1% yearly is going to make a huge difference in a SIP over 30 years. Even in lakhs, if a good amount, even a difference of crore can be there. And plus the important thing is, suppose in such times with Independence Day speech by PM Modi sir, where GST reduction is going to be there. GST reduction is going to be there. Now, one doctor wants to invest in AC stocks or in cars or auto industry. He can simply buy the Nifty Auto Index Fund or Nifty Auto ETF. That is going to give good returns. So this is a huge benefit of index fund.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Preeti ma'am, I'm going to come back to you, and I'm aware Rivoli had told me that you have been doing some phenomenal work to even empower women, and you believe in financial literacy in women. So I always thought that women were smarter than us at saving money, but now, as we all said, it's more about investing than saving. So we have 50% of our members are obviously ladies. So why is it important to have financial literacy in women? Can tell us a brief about your story as well. How did you get into this?
I think I come from the financial services. When I was 16, my father would call me to his office. He used to work with the Aditya Birla Group then. And I think he was more worried that I'd be wasting time with the boys in the college. So he said, you better come to office and manage my portfolio. And that's how I got into, understanding what stocks do. And that time it was still, everything was manual. So just understanding where he's invested, what is the dividend, etc., all of that, right? So that's been my journey. Coming from that industry, I realized, that somewhere women on both sides, right? There weren't enough women in the financial services. At some point, there were just 12% women in financial services. But on the other side of the fence, there were barely. So even we did this Lakshmi Women and Money Power survey, and only 1 out of 10 women actually know where their money is going, right? Even though they are earning money. So obviously there's a huge gap, where, and I think financial planning and financial literacy is equally important to both men and women. But for women, it's even more important because, see, our life stages are very different, right? I think rightly, as you pointed out earlier, that we have, when we get married, we move cities, our career takes a break. We give birth, our career takes a break. There is so much more that we have to. So most people plan for a retirement. Women have to plan for mini retirements along the way, right? So life stages are different. I think women's earning capacity, unfortunately, even today, that gender pay gap is still exists to almost 20%. So, and finally, and you're all doctors, that average woman has a greater lifespan than an average man. So her retirement is longer by 4-5 years. So therefore, it becomes even more critical for her to manage her money to achieve all her financial goals. And for me, this was the big impact, because when I realized that women manage money, and one of the things that I'd like to really say here is that, we don't empower women, we actually power women, because women are born investors. They're great investors. Warren Buffett says that invest like a woman, because we have the right skills. We are very conservative. We are not, people say, oh, women are very risk averse, they won't put money into equity. We have a few women members who are part of our Lakshmi community, they've just mentioned, and they will, once they've done that financial literacy, they are very open to even putting their money into equities by taking that informed decision. So I always say that women are very risk aware, they are not risk averse. You give a woman 1,000 rupees and say, please put this into an investment product, I guarantee you she will not put that money till she's fully understood what that money is going to, where it's going to go and what it's going to do, right? So women actually make for great investors. For us, creating this platform, for me personally, it was this huge endeavor. Today, we have 51% of our population today is women, right? So it's not just that women themselves, I always say women need to invest. It's their duty to invest. Not just for themselves, but for their families, for the community, and today for the country. Because when women actually invest their money and grow their money, we are looking at almost $2 trillion of wealth being created in our country. So don't we owe it to our country, right? That was the whole purpose of And the reason it's called Lakshmi is, of course, because we all pray to the goddess Lakshmi. But as women, we think we are not good enough. And I think that's the myth that we want to break.
Correct.
We want to bring home to women that they're great investors and they can do it. And that's why we've created a platform which is suited. Money management is a behavioral science. It is not a mathematical science.
Kya baat hai?
Build a platform that suits the behavior of women and how they interact with money. So that's a little bit about Lakshmi and why women should invest.
Fabulous, fabulous. I think if you put in the details, we'll be very happy for our members to. Yeah. Ajay sir, anything?
I'll add Madam's presentation words. I fully agree with you what you are saying, but my additional data point is all the studies across the world, not only in India, has proven that women are better money managers.
Yeah.
And why? Two important reasons they've dug out. One, they are very cautious, as you said. They are not going to get influenced by the advertisers, distributors, or sellers, mis-sellers, or whatever. They look and dig deep to find out, is my money going to be safe or not? Whereas they don't have, and you already said emotional. They are not emotional with money. They may be emotional generally with us, but they are not emotional with the money. And this is what point I like to tell all our IIP members and women members on behalf of Samir sir, that women make better money managers, better investors, and already they do it. Our household, what to buy, what to do, how to see, and that's I endorse. Thank you.
So I'm just adding to what Dr. Ajay said, that there are stats, like he said today, if you look at the returns by women fund managers, they're about 1 to 1.5% higher than male fund managers.
Wow.
We run a very large wealth management platform in Anand Rathi. We have women relationship managers and we have men relationship managers. Our women relationship managers actually have been able to create larger AUMs
Wow.
because their understanding of the customer or the client is so perceptive. Right.
Agreed.
So I think it's important to now tell women that you can do it. I think because of lack of time, we put it away ki koi aur kar lega, husband, brother, father. But it's very important now. And one point I want to also mention today in our country, the number of, the dynamics of our society are changing. We've seen COVID, we've seen so many things in our lifetime, right? But the number of single women in our country is very rapidly increasing, whether it is by choice or anything else. Today, we have 70 million single women in our country. That is equivalent to the population of Great Britain or Germany.
Wow.
And it's important for them to take charge of their money because they have to manage their financial goals on their own and they have to navigate it on their own.
There are also, Samir bhai, 3 women fund managers. One is Devina Mehra. She is the first stock exchange broker. Can you beat it? And it was not now, it was way back. And then Pujita madam is there, Sina. Then there is Amisha Vora. These are the fund managers. I've never heard of a women fund manager who is doing so well, as madam said, 25,000 crore.
Wow.
Actually, I think Radhika Gupta is one of the leading
Yeah.
ones of Edelweiss. She's a mutual fund manager. All of the rest are actually wealth managers.
Yeah.
But
And Samir bhai, just to add, the most important thing in investing is discipline. And we know women are always more disciplined and men are always more impulsive. So that helps.
So women on our, just the last bit here, the women on our platform. So there's AMFI, the Mutual Fund Association data that says people who invest in mutual funds redeem their money in the first, 55% people redeem money in the first 2 years, right? Which is why discipline, like Dr. Gupta said, is the most important thing to keep. On our platform, we have seen less than 8% redemption over the last 4 years, which tells you if she's made a financial goal and if she's putting money towards it, it could be rain, hailstorm, earthquake, but she will continue to do her SIPs.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Great.
So we're running out of time, but such a lovely. So some quick questions. So anybody, this question is open for anybody. What, in your experience, are the common mistakes doctors do in their investing journey and financial planning?
I think one madam just now said, if you are investing in mutual fund, 85% of them quit by 2 to 3 years, which is very sad, because in mutual fund to compound or grow, it takes at least 7 years, average investment period. That's one mistake.
I think one very common mistake by few of us even I have committed some time, and my colleagues, they feel they are smarter than the mutual fund managers or index fund managers. It should be other way around. We should just hand over the money and enjoy our practice and life. That is my nutshell.
Lovely. So,
The
one
main mistake
I
is
think
investing in LIC policies and guarantee plans. So if you have that, please tear it and throw it. Thank you, sir.
I think
Right.
my input here is that I think most people, and that includes a lot of the doctors that I've met, wait till too late to start investing. I think, because in our heads it is that I need to have huge amounts of money to start investing. I think investing needs to start early. And the second is, while some of them do start early, I think we are very drawn in by the return that people say 20% return, crypto will give you 30% return. There is a terminology called risk adjusted return, which means that your return should be in comparison with the risk that you're taking. So it's very important to also understand this risk reward ratio and look at risk adjusted return. I've seen a lot of youngsters put money into cryptocurrency because somebody told them, oh, I've got a 30% return, or my money's doubled in a year, right? So it's important to keep that concept in your mind, even when you invest.
We're absolutely running out of time on such a brilliant discussion. So I'm just going to ask a simple question, and all of you can quickly take a minute to answer it. And the most important take-home message for everybody: what are the essentials of investments, or what are the 5 steps a young pediatrician should take to ensure financial independence by the end of 2 to 3 decades of his job? So, just in a nutshell, and then I'll open the discussion up to the house, all the other members who've been watching. We've been having more than 250 members today. They can ask their questions, or they can put forth their point. So, what are the essentials of investment as a take-home summary?
So, Dr. Samir, my one
Dr.
point is start early, as already everybody has said. And even with the least amount, you can start. It's not that you need heavy amount. Even with 500 rupees, we can start investing.
Okay.
Dr. Samir, there
Yes.
is very important concept a doctor has to understand: goal-based investing. I want to start a hospital of 10 crore after 10 years. I have to start SIP for that. I have to put my child for international education. I have to start SIP for that. So goal-based, slowly you build up your investment and wealth. And when the target is there, you use that wealth for the goal. So that is very important.
Thank you, Professor Soren. Professor Gopal, yeah.
So,
Sir, once you have started investing, don't see every day in the tab. Delete the app and go to do your work.
yeah, I'll be summarizing very briefly. So, as a pediatrician, we let us start with P. P stand for pay yourself first. At least 30% of take home should be invested. E for create an emergency fund, at least 9 to 12 months of expenses. D for be debt free. Minimum debt should be there, not to leverage much. I for take an insurance. One is term insurance, another is health insurance. A for asset allocation, so diversification to be done. Okay. T for the tax saving options, what were there in future may not be there. I for inform the family wherever you have invested, and write and will. These are the important things.
Sir, just
The
type that
last
as
one,
well.
sir. Last only one sentence, sir. Don't
Inform
work
the
9
family
a.m.
about
to
whatever the investment, because you will
sir,
be writing
don't
will.
work.
Writing is important. Okay.
Sir, don't work 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Just remember, 1,000 rupees is enough to make 1 crore. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. Dr. Vineet, are you there? If not, then we'll have let Dr. Preeti have the last word, and then we'll open it up to the audience, which has been waiting to ask so many questions. So, take home message, Preeti ma'am.
So I think Professor Soren really put it out very well. It's something that I'm also going to take home, the way he's used the words very effectively. But I think one thing I will say, a lot of people actually do not take that first step because they don't know where to begin. That's typically been the problem, right? People put it to later. Okay, I'll need to understand. a simple method, a simple thumb rule to start your investment journey, even if you have 1,000 rupees, is to do what we call asset allocation, which is diversification between equity, gold, and debt. And the thumb rule for that is that if you are 30 years old, I'm assuming by the time a pediatrician really starts their journey, they are probably 30, right? If you're 30 years old, 100 minus 30, which means 70% of your money should go into equity and 30% should go between debt and gold. Maybe just 5-10% to gold, almost 20 to 25% into debt. That's a very simple way of starting your journey, right? So begin today, begin now by using just this one thumb rule. And once you start investing, you'll want to learn more, you'll need to know more, but don't lose out these first few golden years of investing.
Lovely,
The
lovely. That's
first step
amazing.
probably should be open a demat account at least and link it with your savings bank. At least, I mean, those who have not done it.
Okay, all right. So many of our members are asking for these details, but let me tell you that this entire podcast will be available on the MAHAIP platform, and I'll share the link with you, and all of you can go back, revisit it, and watch it again. But meanwhile, now we've come to the end of the session. Before I thank our guests and I invite Dr. Amol to give the vote of thanks, I'm going to open the show to everybody who's attending so far. Please feel free to open unmute yourself and to start your video, and you can ask our experts any questions you want. You can just say your name and the question whom you would like the person to answer.
And Dr. Samir, before we end, I'll
Yes.
like to say that we hold financial fitness boot camps on our Lakshmi app. In an hour, you will actually understand in a very simple manner the whole idea of investing. We call it financial fitness boot camps. Like you do fitness boot camps, this is a financial fitness boot camp without jargon, simple, and you actually can start your investing journey. So I would welcome everybody to do these sessions whenever we do them on the app. They are free. You can attend because our aim is to create absolute simple jargon-free literacy.
No, so ma'am, you have to tell us how to get there. We didn't. How do I go to that boot
So
camp?
I have actually posted on the chat box. There is a link to download the app. If you look at the chat box, the app, we are called Lakshmi, LXME. We have a website as well. So if you just click on the link, it'll get you there.
Okay. If you don't mind, some of our viewers have joined now. If you could just guide that.
The app is primarily for women, but men can come and invest. They can attend sessions occasionally, not always, but women definitely. And we have a community which is only safe for women. So only women can attend, be part of the community.
All right. So I hope everybody heard the link to get there. It's the app that you have to download. And madam, if you may be kind enough to share, because some of our members have joined now. So that's it. I'd request everybody to open their videos and ask any questions to the experts or any comments you have. And then I'll thank the guests and we'll call it a day. There were lots of questions in the chat box. If anybody...
So we have answered most of them typed only.
Okay. So that's lovely then. Any comments from anybody, or shall we hand it over to Dr. Sanjay and Dr. Amol? All right. So I think before we hand it over to Dr. Sanjay and Amol, I'd like to personally thank each and every one of you who attended this session. It's late in the night, but all of you stayed back. I think it's very important for all of us to have this shared learning. And I'd like to thank Dr. Ajay Kumar, who's always been such a big asset to all of us. In fact, these are our assets. Professor Soren, Professor Harish Gopal sir, as well as Dr. Manish Gupta, as well as Dr. Vinit Tyagi. And of course, we're very happy to have the august presence of Ms. Preeti Rathi Gupta today.
Sir, it is telling somebody, nobody cannot unmute. Some people want to ask questions, cannot unmute.
Oh, okay. So can we ask the host to unmute everybody, please?
Pallavi ma'am.
Pallavi madam, unmute karta ka?
Actually, it is to avoid the disturbance. That's why she has unmuted everyone.
You can raise your hand. I will unmute immediately. You can raise your hand. Anybody who would like to ask. Yeah, Ravindra bhai, 1 minute. Yeah, please go ahead. You can unmute. Dr. Gupta from Jammu.
Good evening, sir. I have been listening to this fantastic to invest from zero level. Where should I invest? I have 10 lakh rupees. Now tell me. We have experts, Madam Viti Gupta, ma'am.
So I think two things, and I think we laid it out during this session also, that if you have, there is a logic to investing. First, you create safety nets. Safety nets are insurance and your emergency fund, so that your near term, all your needs are taken care of. And then you put your money into what we call the growth asset classes, which is equity. You definitely need to put money into equity to beat inflation. Now, depending on your comfort, whether it is 10%, like I gave you a thumb rule, depending on your age, you can decide how much money should go into equity. But I also said this is personal finance. If you are somebody who's 40 years old and you feel that, okay, 60% is too much to put into equity, I don't understand it, start small. Start by 10%, 20% into equity till you really understand that asset class. But diversify it between gold, equity, and debt. All of it should go into mutual funds, because that's the right way to start your investing, because you have experts there. And if you were a woman, I would have invited you to the Lakshmi platform to invest.
And don't start lump
Yeah.
sum. Don't invest lump sum. Shift it to a debt fund, and from there you do a STP. Sorry, to a
Okay.
equity fund.
So Gupta sir, usually first thing you should set a goal. Without set, how can you decide which vehicles to go? Okay, so because 10 lakh is there, but we don't know what purpose, when you need that amount. First, you have to set the goal. Then you will decide the duration, how much time it will take. Then you take which asset class or vehicle you want to achieve that.
So
Got it?
purpose, age, risk profile, all these things are there. Yeah.
So you can contact our experts again, Ravinder Bhai, and they will be more than happy to help you.
Sir, the next main question is where to invest for a child if not LIC policy.
So I think
So definitely not Sukanya Samriddhi, because the government is withdrawing. So it is again, equity is the best class for your child's future. Do not invest in any of the child policies. The child policies will trick you to get into your guarantee plans or ULIP plans. Madam, please continue.
Madam.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, Sukanya, normally we would say about 80% of your child's, future, whether it's especially education, because education actually in terms of inflation is the fastest growing inflation. Education is getting expensive by almost 20% every year. So it's very important that you put money, a large part of this money, almost 80 to 90% in equities, and you have some amount in debt for any near-term needs. I have another statistics here today. An average Indian family spends close to 35 to 40 lakhs on just basic education for their child, right? If you're sending your child to private, colleges. And then of course, if you do post-grad and if you go into the medical field, it only increases. Most families land up actually borrowing money in the early years of the child's education. If you actually start investing from now in a child education fund, which is 90% into equity and 10% into some debt format. In fact, on the Lakshmi platform, we have a child education portfolio that we've created. Based on that, actually, if you need to ever borrow money, it's the best way to borrow, because it's a collateral loan that you take and you get a loan at a very, very low rate. So definitely equity and small amount of debt till Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana is available. It is a great product to get that debt part in only. But that will not beat your inflation. You have to put money into equities.
Thank you. We have Dr. Praveen Mehta. I'll give him the first opportunity, then Dr. Chandra Mohan, and I think Dr. Kalpana, my friend, also wants to ask something. Praveen Bhai, go ahead.
See, the question was everybody is talking about long term, that invest in gold for long term, invest in equity for long term. But that is true for young pediatrician. What about the people who are 75 and above? You never know when you are going to be no more in this world. So is it safe to put entire thing in the fixed deposit at that particular age?
So what is the purpose, sir? At that 70 years, what do you want to do with the money? That is important, no, sir?
Yeah,
are you going to keep it as a safe or going to legacy as your child or your children, or you want to utilize it for a
national? No, that is not possible to judge, because you never know you may end up with some disease like say kidney failure, where you require every month more than 5-6 lakhs rupees to live your life. And if you are putting in long term, for a person who is above 75 years, I don't know how much it is justified.
Age
Sir,
minus age.
majority,
Come in
sir,
here.
majority should be in debt, not in equity during that age.
May I come in
Yes,
here?
Yeah, Preeti madam.
So I think it's very important. You are absolutely right, sir. I think at 75, you should have a larger amount of your money into debt, and it could be fixed deposits. But there is also a beautiful instrument in mutual funds called systematic withdrawal plan. It's a great place to put your money. It is equity, but what that does is, suppose you have savings of 1 crore, right? If you put that into a systematic withdrawal plan, you can actually withdraw money every month and the rest of the money keeps growing. It's literally, when you look at the mathematics of it, there's a whole story about Krishna, getting food out of a matki constantly. It never ends, right? SWP is absolutely a beautiful product for you to put whatever money, even if it's 50% of your money into a systematic withdrawal plan.
Actually, a lot of studies in National Stock Exchange only they have done. In a systemic withdrawal plan, if you withdraw 6% and if your product is giving 10 to 12% per annum returns, it will never get exhausted. In fact, it will keep on increasing. We will pass away, but the fund will be remaining there only.
Correct.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Doctor, thank you, Praveen bhai. Chandramohan bhai.
So, thanks for the opportunity. Actually, my question is, in our generation, many of us are too hooked with the equity. We have been seeing equity boom for last 20 odd years. So whenever that 100 minus age, so remaining part that we are either going with the gold or with the real estate. So what we are, rather we are not investing in the debt equipments, taking that this is even not meeting the inflation. So what proportion must be kept in debt?
So I would recommend using the thumb rule, but applying and personalizing that thumb rule. So for example, if you are at an age where you don't have too many responsibilities, you can put even 80% into equities, right? So that's called personalization. But if you have dependents, if you have responsibilities, children's responsibilities, then you should actually keep some amount in debt to make sure that that financial goal in the near term, if there is anything coming up, meets, right? Thumb rule is a great way to begin that journey, but personalizing it and saying, okay, tomorrow, if your daughter or your son is going to go for higher education and you may need money in the next 2 years, then that money should not be kept in equities. It should be kept in debt, because you definitely don't want, that money to be, it should be capital protected wherever it is, so that you don't have to worry about any, volatility market taking away any of that capital protection. So, and if you don't, if you feel there is nothing in the near term, the next 4 or 5 years, you may still keep about 70% in equity and only 30%, but it is very important to keep money in debt, because debt is actually your shock absorber for the near term. And that is how you should look at debt.
There is a question everybody is asking: how much should be the retirement corpus, where we can, live? So we haven't touched that at all. Samir bhai has not asked.
Please go ahead.
It's a big subject, but anyway, there is a thumb rule, as madam has said. There is a formula. If you at the age of retirement, your monthly expenses is about 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs, just multiply by the number of years you are expected to survive. Say 85 years. So 65 to 85, 20 years, multiply by 20, your monthly expenses. Or there is another formula, monthly expenses multiply by 200 or 300, depends upon the months you are going to need that amount of money, and put that corpus in a fund which gives you a fairly good appreciation, inflation beating, tax efficient, and systemic withdrawal plan.
I think it's very important. You can also just go and use a retirement calculator.
Yeah.
It's very important to use it, because you may think that you are spending 2 lakhs right now, and therefore at the age of 65, 70 also you will need 2 lakhs, but you have to take into account inflation. What may be 2 lakhs today, after 30 years will actually be almost 8 lakhs, right? So use a calculator. It just makes it easier. It'll ask you what are your current expenses, what is your age, what age you want to retire, what do you think is, lifespan? Suppose you want your retirement fund to extend up to 100 years, it'll actually tell you the corpus that you require. And a lot of calculators will also tell you where to invest. At least the Lakshmi calculator will also tell you how much to invest every month or lump sum at one go to achieve that goal. And I can tell you that the retirement calculator is the most aha moment for most people. I think we don't realize, we feel retirement is something that we will, that corpus we will collect money, we will save. But when we use that calculator, sometimes it shakes us that, okay, that's the money I need.
Awesome.
It is estimated that 7 crores about for doctors, about 10 crores is an average figure. Most of the metros, Bombay must be more. But if you have a corpus of around 5 to 7 crores, that should give you 10% and that will last for 20 to 30 years.
One figure also says that 50 to 60 years, you need 10 years annual earnings in your account.
Yeah. There are so many formulas. Madam has already said calculators are there.
Correct. Thank you. Dr. Kalpana from UAE, our NRI participant. Any questions?
Yes, very good session. Thanks to everyone. 3 quick points. My first burning question on ETFs. I just want to, in short, understand about ETFs because there's a lot of talk on it. And second is, I think we need another session on retirement planning, as most of us, not most, but me, might be thinking of that. And thirdly, I think this is a very important subject that you, as a president, can incorporate in the curriculum for our children who are studying medicine, because we had to literally find our own way as we got along. So just not to feel that we missed the boat, one more session on retirement planning from financial point of view. So ETFs.
Dr. Sameer, you should have one agenda of having a financial literacy chapter of Central
Absolutely.
IIT.
Absolutely.
There's so much enthusiasm there.
So
You
this is
should think of that.
just the beginning. This is just the beginning.
Sapna
After
madam,
December, we'll
ETFs
enter
are
into
there.
that.
It's a big topic. Already 2 talks are there in our YouTube channel, and it was very elaborately done and simple to understand. I think it requires an hour of teaching ETF. So please go
So I
through.
think we should take it up as an action plan as well, because along with
Sir.
academics, all these things are also very important. So we'll look into that.
And
Dr.
also retirement planning with Excel and calculators in detailed session is there in our YouTube channel, sir. Please
Lovely.
go to it.
Definitely. Please put the link, sir. All right.
I think for the benefit of just answering that question, because I don't think you want anybody to go to sleep wondering now I have to wait for the next session for ETF. I think it's fairly simple. I explain mutual funds to you. Typically, mutual funds, you can invest into the mutual fund at any point, any time, but all these mutual funds are also traded on the exchange, all these funds, and they are known as ETFs. ETF, the full form is exchange traded fund. Now, in most countries, ETFs are the best way to invest because there's a lot of liquidity. But in India, unfortunately, we still don't have that much liquidity and therefore, when you go to sell, your demand and supply may affect the pricing of whatever you want to sell or buy. So even today in India, mutual funds are a better way to invest. As the market grows, ETFs will become far more cost-efficient way to invest.
3 points you have to do for ETF selection. It should be liquid, extreme volume should be trading every day, and it should have low expense ratio and tracking error should be less. I think these are all little deeper subject. We will not say, but it should be, first thing is volumes.
Yeah.
Select a ETF which has got highest volume.
Yeah, but I would still recommend, if you're just starting your investment journey, I think ETFs is not the first place to go to invest, not in India.
Ms. Preeti Rati Gupta is also on Instagram, both with her own account as well as with Lakshmi, which is spelled as LXMI. You can just, LXME, you can just direct message her and things like that as well. And I will share the contacts that she has given for all of you. I think we've had a fabulously enriching, if I may use the pun, evening of financial planning for doctors. And what we learned today is that it's never too late. You can always begin whenever. जहाँ से शुरुआत की वहाँ से सवेरा. think thank you so much. I'd like to thank Dr. Professor Ajay Kumar sir, Professor Soren sir, for Professor Dr. Harish Gopal sir, my dear Dr. Manish Gupta sir, as well as Dr. Vinit Tyagi, and of course Preeti ma'am for your one time. It's been 10:30, but you've still given us this time. Doctors are like that. They start on work only or do all this on Sundays or late in the evening after practice, because otherwise you have to look at little children. So thank you so much, Preeti ma'am. And I hand this over to Dr. Sanjay Bakmode and Dr. Amol Pawar.
Sanjay sir, before you tell one request on behalf of all the 300 participants today in the webinar, once you get elected, you are elected, please start a chapter as everybody is asking.
Promise.
At least some group.
Promise.
For
Promise.
others members' benefits.
Promise. And this to a couple of things more. We will be continuing. The next episode will be on how do pediatricians handle their practice on one hand, but also aging parents, spouse, as well as young children, sometimes maybe teenagers as well. How do you maintain this family balance with your practice? So that will be episode 6, if Dr. Sanjay Pakmode allows us. Over to Dr. Sanjay Pakmode.
Yes. I'm really thankful, sir. I mean, so many different topics stuck to your mind. I mean, that is a really beauty. I mean, this again, one more newer topic you have touched, and that's why I say you will be the very innovative president. I mean, before starting the journey, you have touched so many topics in the life of pediatricians, which are so important, which we never thought of. Now, today's session was such a wonderful session. Experts like Preeti Gupta ma'am were there, and they very simply explained all these things. No doubt we were knowing, but we were sitting like a layman in the crowd, and we understood so many things beautifully so that we can apply it on the means. Most of the attendees might have understood, means they must have understood all the concepts. Very simple concepts they have explained, and that too in such a manner as if means they are the thumb rules. And really, all experts were very good, and all means on the different topics also their opinion was very similar. So, and it was really a very innovative session, and all attendees, no doubt from the Maharashtra, all attendees from the different states and as well as from the overseas, they all are benefited from this particular topic. I thank Preeti Gupta madam, founder Lakshmi app, and I really feel very proud that madam has invited mains for that Lakshmi app enrollment, and that's a wonderful thing. I'm really thankful to you, madam. I salute you rather. I mean, something is there to join for the male on the female app. That's a great thing.
Thank you.
And I also thank Dr. Ajay Kumar sir. Sir's knowledge has really helped us in today's session. Was really sir was very he explained his ideas very clearly, and also told well about the lot of schemes like FBS and on the other social security schemes of IMA at state level and the national level also. They are also too good. Then Professor Soren sir also told very mnemonics, and about the Harish Gopal sir, I tell you, his thinking was very straight line. This is a thing. I think this is right. This is only thing we can do it. So thank you, sir, Harish Gopal sir, and Manish sir and Vinith. They have told the newer things, and today's session was will be helpful for the people who have attended today virtually, and also it will be available on the YouTube so that many more people can later on also attend and take the advantage of that this particular topic. So Samir sir, you have done a great thing. This was much needed topic, I think. So because that's why there were so many questions from the attendees, and it's a right time. Even if we are not knowing, we can tomorrow onwards we can go and apply these concepts to our managing our money, and which will help in the future. Thank you, sir, and thank you all the panelists, all the attendees, and CIP office bearers, MAHAIP office bearers who have attended today's program. And especially I thank Samir Dalwai sir, who have arranged such a beautiful topic. This is the 5th in the row, and now the 6th I heard. I was today very curious what is going to say for the session for the tomorrow next after 15 days, and he has touched such a topic which I never thought of. So really, thank you to your innovative mind, and I think you will be really a good leader in the future. And I appeal all of you to we should get a person like innovative person and a great leader like Samir Dalwai. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
To everyone. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night, ma'am. Good night, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all of you.